Hello. So today we want to take a look at templates from Beas manufacturing. So we will just take a look at 4 PowerPoint slides and then we will jump into the system to see the templates in action. So what are templates? Most of the Beas windows are supporting templates. I'm saying most because the templates are only available in list windows. So where you have list like the item report, work orders overview, quality control orders, and so on, there are templates supported. APS also, for example. The item structure report is not supporting templates. So it's only available if you have a kind of list. And what is the template doing? So you can store different settings for this specific window in a template. So you could have several templates for one window where you store different views. For example, one view could be only the buy items, the other one only the make items. So you have different views on that, or only items with stock or items that are not locked. So you see there are different settings that we could store in the system. And of course, these settings are also managed by an authorization. So different users can have different access to different templates. So for example, the purchasing department, they can only see the template for the buy items, and the shop floor department, they could only see the make items. So there are different settings for these options. So what settings can be stored in the template? Of course, we can sort it. So for example, we want to sort it by item code or by stock that is available. And we can also filter it. So maybe I just want to see items that are on stock. The column settings from the Windows settings, those are also stored in the template. So if you hide columns, if you um, yeah, enable one, or if you change the sorting of the columns, that is also stored in the template. Also, the maximum lines can be configured in every template. So it could be one template that is only showing 99 lines, but maybe for some reasons you want to see all lines that are there. So you could have a different templates that will just enable to give you an overview about all the lines that are there. Also, a design can be stored in the template. So font size, coloring, a background. So stuff like this can also be stored. Additional, we can also store 6 individual fields in the template. So you know it's kind of complicated to create new fields in Beas. Or in the list views, where you can do it with the Power Builder and so on. But in most windows, there are 6 additional fields that you can change to your needs. For example, you could enter some more details that are not there by default, and then you can activate it for that specific template. But we will see this later in the system. And what about the authorizations? Of course, the users can only access the templates to which they have access. Of course, super users can have access to all templates. But the authorization is a nice little handy tool because you could create different templates for different users or departments where it's predefined what they can do, and they can't change it later. And of course, this is then stored just for them, so no one can blame someone else if something is hidden or if the font is changed. So you can work with these. Okay, so let's jump to the system. So you see I have an SAP Business One client connected, B1 is also running, Beas is running. So let's check out the templates. For my example, I will mostly look into the item report and also in the MRP wizard. So if I open the item report, you see I have a normal window here, item number, description group, and so on. And down here, there we have the templates options. It's either the Beas logo or in the new style, it's this little symbol here. If I make a left click on it, I have my template overview. So what do I have? I have, well, two defaults for me, because I haven't renamed it. I have my template, only active items, only buy items, and the template administration module. By the way, only active item, only buy items, sorry, not the active items, only buy items. I also have a button up here. We'll also take a look at that one, how to create a button for template views. By the way, if I make a right click somewhere in an unused area, I also have the template options by the right click menu. Okay, so let's open the template administration. So we see, okay, these are my templates, the descriptions. Do I have a default one? No. That's why I'm still having a default one in my right click menu. So this is my default one. If I change this to a different one, that should be the default one. The normal default one would be hidden. I can do it by highlighting one row, activation by default, and with the delete default definition, I can restore the normal default one. So what can I do here? Of course, I can right click, I can duplicate them, I can remove them. I could also set them up as default, like with the buttons below. But let's take a look at the settings in the templates. Actually, there's one button. Let me just close this. Okay. Uh, okay, DeepL was in it. Okay. So, of course, template name. This needs to be unique. The description is the description that you will also see if you make a right click or if you left click on the template symbol. So this should be here a right name. In the general tab, I have the option to max the lines. So maybe for performance issues, I should only see 99 lines. So then this is my settings. I can also enter a title, and this will also be used for printing, for example. The authorization and also in the terminal mode, here I can store which user has access to it. So a super user, of course, has access to all templates, and also users that have full access to the template option, they also see all templates. So if you want to work with the templates and also with the authorization, make sure that the user has the right Beas authorizations for the module itself, and then set up the authorization in here by selecting the users and employees that should have access to it. In the terminal one, it's the same setting. So these are my employees that are stored in the Beas HR settings, and just by selecting those, yeah, the users will be able to use this template in their terminal. And no, I don't want to save it. Of course, the image can be also changed. So for different templates, I could have different images, same as the color, and also for branches, if you have them activated in SAP, you can also activate templates just for specific branch. So let's take a look at the fields. I already mentioned it that you can have up to 6 additional fields in Beas, and this is really handy because you don't need to go to Beas scripting, Power Builder, and all that stuff, because it's really easy to have new fields in that item report in our example. So if I go in the definition of column 1, because I have the name, and I have a little SQL sequence in here. And this just tells me, hey, okay, I want to see my procurement method of my items. So I want to see if it's, for the procurement method, if it's a buy or a make item. Of course, I can also use this in my query generation manager if I want to. And here is the full query. That is one when the window is opened. So we just open this one. So of course it should be the field should be available. Otherwise you have to join it in that database. And by the way, those fields, they need to be they are limited to 50 characters, and it should be a warchar character. So if it's something else like a time or a date, you need to use the cast command in it. It's the same for a picture also, for example. So here I just show the picture too. Of course, the format, the format should then be used as SAP bitmap. If it's just the text, then it will be just the name of the picture. So make sure if you want to see the picture in the item wrapper, for example, that you select the right format for it. Sorting and filter. For me, it's not active in here. I think I have it in the active one, so we will check it out there. But here it's also just really easy. You just type in a little query, what you want to see, and then the filter is predefined for the template. The design can also be changed for this template. So only this template is having that design. For example, in my case, my background has a different color. The background could be also a picture if I want to, or some vertical gradient and so on. So I can have different backgrounds in here. I can also activate a zoom factor in it. If it's empty, it will use the default one from Beas and SAP. And I can also change my font and the color of it. So for example, maybe I want to display only the items that are not on stock, and I want them to be in red because I need to do something with them. I could change the font color in here. I can also activate a start script. So every time I open this window with my template, my template, or if I select the template, little start script is running. In my case, it's adjusting the height of the details and also of my template field 2, which is my picture 2, to the height 180 so that I can see the pictures. Otherwise, it will be just a little symbol and it's hard to recognize it. So something like this can be also configured in that start script, and then it's only active for that specific template. Before I activate some templates, just want to show you the filtering. So here it's just only the active items. So the frozen 4 is equal to n. So only the items that are active are displayed in here. All right, so let's now work with the templates, and let's select my template just for showing. And we see, okay, the background is changed. So it's orange now. This highlighted line is gray. And I have some pictures in here, and also the mode of procurement. So the additional fields that I entered in the template, they are stored in here. By the way, if I now close this window and reopen it, Beas remembers the last selected template. So this is my template again. I change this one to, let's say, only the active items. See, the background is changing again. I only have the items that are active with my column settings. If I reopen the item report again, then it is only my active items again. Same for buy items, where we also have the pictures. And well, maybe let's say for only the buy items, I want to change the Windows settings. So let's say I don't care about the group. I want to see if it's purchase item. Well, of course it's a purchase item because I filtered it to it. And I want to see who created it. Okay, so it's updated right now and it's already stored in the settings. So if I reopen the item report, see it's still there. If I change it to my default one and back again to only the buy items, you see the window columns are still there. And this becomes handy if you say, hey, I only want one template for a specific user to be active. So maybe he shouldn't see what's the price for the items or if it's in stock. So you can just give him the authorization to use a single template and then he can only see these columns. Of course, he shouldn't have the right to change the Windows settings. Okay, so I've already told you, hey, this button up here, it will also guide me to the only buy items template. Let me just change it to my template and let's now click on the button. And this will now load the only buy items template for me. So this is coming from B1 up. And to do so, of course, I should make a right click, go to the B1 up and edit the function buttons. And now it's pretty easy. I have given it a text so that it says only purchase items. Where's the position? Or so I could give it an information. And then I just select the function. So what should it do? So we could also say, okay, let's create a new item and let's call it my template. And there we go for the function. We just click on it and then we select my template and that's it. Oh, I should set the button to the top also. So this should be also on the top. And let's reopen the item report. Now I have my temp. Well, I misspelled it, but it doesn't matter. And if I click it, yeah, it loads my template for me. So I don't need to make a left click in here, select the right one, or make a right click, go to the templates. So with one click, I can access them. So this can be very handy if a person is really working with different templates in one window, and if you just want to have a shortcut to get the templates active. Okay, now another thing I like to show you is the MRP. Of course, you know the MRP, but we also have the option to work with templates here. Just open them. Here I have a default one. So this is really my default one that will be used. And I also have some authorizations. So I have my normal purchase one. I can see this one is active for everyone. So there's no authorization in it, so everyone can access it. And we also see there are not as many options as in the item report. For example, I can't add new fields. So in MRP1, the 6 additional fields are not there. So it's a bit limited in MRP1, but it's still quite handy, especially if we work with the purchase one for Bob and Michael, for example. So authorization, it's just clicking on it, activate the users that should have access to it, and the same for the terminal mode. Yes. And what I have done now for these templates, I'm still in the Bob one, so let me just open the normal purchase one. So here I have made my adjustments that my item is pretty high, my supplier, delivery date, purchase price, so that I can work as a normal purchase person would do. If we check out the default one, just for showing, see it's a bit different. So we have the lead time, the inflow, outflow, what's coming in on which calendar week, and so on. But for the purchasing, we don't care about them. We just want to have our order functions on top, so that we have the supplier, the default one highlighted, delivery date when we want to have it, the price, and also the quantity. But in my case, Bob is buying something and Michael is buying something. So if I select Bob, I will only see 3 items. And if I select Michael, he only sees 2 items. Why is he doing so? Or why are they doing so? Because in the item itself, I selected as employee Michael Spear in that case. Another one, it's Bob Schoen, I think it's his name. But it's Michael and Bob that is selected as employee. And now in the Windows settings, no, not in Windows settings. Sorry, the it's in the filter. My bad. Yes. So it's in the filter, and if I load the filter, it will also warn me, okay, if you click as default, you save this definition to the purchase template Michael. Okay. So my filter says, okay, the employee should be Michael. And of course, it could also be the match code, drawing number, or an item property or material group. So if maybe someone is only buying metal sheets and we have it in the item group or an item property, then of course we could also filter it predefined for that template. Important is if we have selected it, click as default. That saves it for this template only. So there we have it. And now what would be best to do so? I already mentioned it, but let's reopen the templates again. That to the order work recommendation template purchase Bob, only Bob should have access, and to the Michael one, only Michael should have access. Of course, this is just an example. So in total, I always recommend to not just filter that much on purchasing items, because what can happen, maybe Bob is only looking at his items, Michael is only looking at his items, and no one is checking on the items that has no employee. So you should also always work with some template where all items are in, just for checking. But maybe for Bob and Michael, it's easier to work with their template. So that's about the template. I hope you learned something from it. Of course, you can play around with it. Also, You can set it up in a test system. I think you can also copy it from one system to a different one, but actually it's not that much to set it up. So it's also really easy to recreate it or to duplicate it. So yeah, it's really helpful if you work with a lot of different users, or some users need different views for several windows. So this becomes quite handy. Yeah, so follow us for more information, and if you need more details on templates or on anything else with Beas or actually with all Boyum products, feel free to contact us. Thanks and have a wonderful day.